consciousness, we have the idea, brings it into our power of imagination, and we start to bring it forward. It's an active part of the creation principle that we teach. So I was sitting at my kitchen table the other day, and I was thinking, intention. What is it? How does it work? And is it just intention, or is there more to it? Well, there's more to it. And I know some of you have friended me on Facebook, and that's fine. I will always welcome that. So what I posted on Facebook was, intention directs our experience. Emotion fuels the process, and action delivers. Those are 3 easy steps, right? Now, what I do know is Reverend Danny had an intention to become an ordained unity minister. He had a passion around doing that, and that ignited with the passion here for him to receive that determination. And that would have been great right there. That was fine, right? But there had to be action involved, which we do something about action in unity. What is that we say about action? Could it be our 5th principle? That we have this. I love the 5th principle. To me, it's where the rubber meets the road. It's that peace that brings us into being. So if we don't ever take action, then things are just there. It's like wishing on a star. We can wish it, we can desire it, we can hope for it, but until we put our feet to it and take action, it's just hopes and dreams. That's one of the things for years, and I work, with a lot of unity ministries and have through the course of time. And one of the questions I always get is, why is it people show up at unity and don't stay? We've got such a great thing going on here. The things we teach are powerful. They can change your lives. Why is it that it's like a revolving door? Have y'all noticed that ever? You want my opinion? That was a good answer. People get into unity because it feels good. They get into unity because it's like we're not telling them that they're going to go to hell. We're not dangling that hell carrot over their heads. And that feels good because so many of us have been there, right? I grew up Southern Baptist. Believe me, I know what that feels like. But in unity, once you get going and you get into it, you recognize no matter what my intention is, I'm responsible for the outcome. It's my work. It's my consciousness. It's the things that I do that bring me into this experience. I remember years ago when I first found unity, I was in Nashville. And a friend who was entrenched in Catholicism, we were talking one day and she goes, "Are you still going to that unity church?" I went, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, that's kind of a banana pudding church." Banana pudding church? What? She goes, "Well, it's all fluff. There's no meat to it." Talk about misconceptions, right? So as we get into unity, we realize that nobody's going to do the work for us. Nobody's going to pour it into our brains. Nobody's going to reach in and open our hearts. It's up to us. And so my theory why so many people don't stay in unity is when they realize that nobody's going to do it for them, that there's not some great intercessor, that it is our own individual accountability and responsibility for our spiritual journeys. When that hits, it's like something hitting the fan. When that hits, they usually disappear. When they realize that their joy, their happiness, they're advancing in consciousness, they're advancing in their spiritual development, is their responsibility, and not the ministers, not the boards, not the music directors, not the prayer chaplains, not the Sunday school teacher in cases where that is. but it is a personal thing. It brings us back to the point of the fact that we live into a realm of spirituality rather than religion. Okay? So my idea, and I'm sure a lot of people hold this, religion is man-made. Religion answers the edicts of the human being. So whereas spirituality, that's my own personal relationship with the universe, with God, with Source, whatever you want to call it. And so I walked away from religion many years ago. And I'm happy to say that I have a wonderful engagement with my spiritual practices, my spiritual source, the universal teachings, because I don't depend on anybody else for that. If I get off on a tangent or go detour around and travel the countryside of negativity or false ideas or false thoughts, whose responsibility is it to get me back on the path? Whose responsibility is it to get you back on the path? That's right, that's right. So we have to have an intention, though, to get that going, don't we? So how many of you, when you got up this morning, set an intention that you were going to come into this ministry today, into this group of spiritual truth seekers, and you were going to be fed, and you were going to celebrate? Okay. To me, that's what it's all about. So the ministries that I get involved with, we call this our Sunday celebration service, because we're coming together to celebrate the spirituality, the opportunities, the growth, the ideas that we have and that we can live into. And so I encourage you every Sunday to get into the intent and into the consciousness that I'm going to celebrate my journey this morning, because I'm going to pick up new tools, new information, new ways to be in that practice of my own spiritual relationship. So I wonder, did Charles Fillmore say anything about intentions or affirmations? We can use those two interchangeably. He said a couple of things. One of my favorites comes from his book, Atom Smashing Power of the Mind. It's one of my favorite books. It's probably one of the most tedious to read and understand. But then that's Charles Fillmore, right? He gets to be a little challenged sometimes. He said, the affirmation of any good statement of health puts us in conscious contact with the Christ mind universal and quickens and releases the energy stored up in the subconscious mind, and the process of rejuvenation begins its work. Now, he was speaking about healing. What I've come to understand in the years that I've been doing this is that spiritual growth is healing, because we all have these embedded beliefs that are holding us hostage in some ways. And as we open ourselves up and as we begin this journey, what we're doing is we're opening ourselves up to the healing of those error beliefs. And so we set that intention. We hold that affirmation to be that. In Christian healing, he also went on to say, if we affirm our unity with life, substance, and the intelligence of God, we lay hold of these spiritual qualities. If we affirm the reality of matter and of the physical body, we form a material picture that works itself out in flesh. It takes us back. Our intentions, our affirmations, that which we focus on, that which we set as our direction for our roadmap, is exactly the direction we go. How many of y'all saw remember on the old Frasier sitcom, there was one episode where they were going to ride bikes. And he and Niles never could ride a bike growing up. They never learned. But they had signed up for this bike ride. Frasier gets on his bike, he goes to practice, he gets on his bike, and there's this big tree. He couldn't do anything but focus on that tree. Well, what happened every time he took off? He ran right into that tree, every time. When I first saw that, I thought, boy, aren't we like that? Don't we run off the track many times because our focus got over there somewhere? And we lost the direction of our intention. So, really, today is about the fulfillment of an intention. Not only Danny's intention, but the intention of this community. The intention of this community to walk this journey with him and to have a fully actualized, ordained unity minister as your spiritual leader. And so I applaud all of you for this journey. Don't ever feel like, and Danny, I'm not taking anything away from you, sweetie, but don't ever feel like Danny did this by himself. It's an all skate. It's a community event because we've all come together and held that intention, set that sight, and taken action. So as we move through this day, and I'm going to wrap this up because we have a lot more to do today, you think? We have a lot more to do. And so what I would like for you to do is just maybe prepare for a few moments of meditation. And as we do this, as you breathe into this moment, I want to invite you to go ahead and take that 18-inch journey down into your heart, into that space that Mr. Fillmore referred to as the abode of God. As we go into our hearts. And as we are in this place, we move into the clarity. The clarity of our intentions, the clarity of our desires. Because as we are in this place, in this present moment, all of our next moments are based in the intention that we have right this minute. And I invite you to set an intention for peace in our lifetime. Set an intention for love across the lands. Set an intention for community, for spiritual awakening, for compassion, joy, and harmony. And as we set this intention, we do so, anchoring it in that divine love, that unifying, harmonizing power. As we set this intention, we bring the emotions into it. We feel what it would be like to live in peace and know that each and every aspect of our universe is anchored in that peace. Feel the emotion of compassion and love being shared throughout the lands. Feel into the emotion of pure joy, the joy likened to a child's giggle. We've set our intention. We've brought in emotion. And as we come out of our time of meditation, I invite us to be the agents of change, the agents of peace and agents of love in the world around us. And for this time of connection, this time of anchoring into the truth of who we are and the teachings that we hold so high. And we claim this, and we trust in the presence and in the power of the allness of the I am. And so it is. Amen. So I thank you for this part of the service. And what I want to do is invite Reverend Robin to come and share. And as she's